Friday and welcome to our last challenge here at the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. How's it going? I can see so many of you. I can see Akin, Jennifer, PM, Arefa, Steve, Angie. Last one week, Clary. Yes, correct. For now though, I will definitely be back. I had a blast with you and I had a blast here at the Adobe Live throughout these 2 amazing weeks, and it's very nice to see you here. Ciao Pietro and ciao talentuosa Clary. I love that you guys are learning Illustrator and Italian. That's very fun. Thank you so much for being here. And let's get started. Let's take advantage of this very last day here together. I'm gonna jump real quick into our beautiful landing page just to share with you our today challenge and of course more information as usual. Let me jump into my screen. Here it is. So as you can see here, today is the last day of the challenge, although you can still subscribe by scrolling down to the page and clicking on our, where is it here? Sorry, I went a bit too far. Our subscribe, because there are more challenges coming. We will definitely have Andrew starting on Monday for 2 weeks of Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge, and it's gonna be a blast as usual. Andrew is super fun. I follow his challenges as well, and I hope that you're gonna be there. And starting from next week, in order to be reminded, click on subscribe here at the bottom of our page in order to be reminded of his challenge. George from New York City, Leonie, Jonathan from Texas, Rahul, Edwin, Bolier, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. It's amazing to see so many of you. Now, before we start, I want to remind you, as usual, if you want to follow along with me, you can get the starter file here from our landing page at our last card that is titled Holographic Effect, because that's what we're going to start learning today. So while I talk a little bit more about our beautiful community on Discord, make sure to click on Get Started in order to download the file and be ready to work with me as soon as I jump in the project. I can see PM from Austria. Arefa saying it's our last day, we'll miss you. Oh, I would love to come to Dubai. Arefa, that would be absolutely amazing. Never know. For now, during this lockdown, I cannot travel very much, but I enjoy the company of you and all the amazing creative here. Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, everyone. Come and jump into Behance if you are on YouTube. I can see some people saying I cannot read it. You're very small on YouTube. If you wanna talk to me or ask me a question, make sure to jump on behance.net/live so I can see your comment. And by the way, for those of you who don't know yet, what is the URL for our landing page is behance.net/challenge/illustrator. You'll have a bunch of information. You'll be able to watch all the videos. You can see it says watch the video, so you can recap, use the weekend in order to watch any challenge you might have missed. Hi Carol from France. Hi Sorsa, nice to see you here. And something else that I wanted to mention here is that our beautiful community, of course. So in order to join the community, which is a big part of the challenges, make sure to click on join community chat in order to be transported into our wonderful world of Discord. You guys blew my mind. I'm so glad. I can tell that you had fun with those challenges because I've seen so many inspiring artwork. I actually really enjoy spending my time here with you. And for those of you who don't know what is Discord, I'm gonna jump real quick. This is the place where we all hang out, creative students, mentors, Adobe staff. We are here spending time together, keeping each other company in the most creative way by sharing our work. So make sure that you share your work here on the feedback channel. I'm gonna zoom in and show it real quick. Here it is, feedback challenge. That's the right place to share, and all you have to do is to click on the plus in order to submit your work. As I always say, this is a safe space, so don't worry if you think that your work is not done, if your work is not complete. Don't worry, be brave, share. We're all here to learn. I learned so much, even sometimes by helping you. It prompted me to do some research. Safe space for everyone here. So make sure to submit it, and let's learn together. And it's about it's about time to jump in our creative challenge number 9, the last of the week. So hopefully you have already downloaded the file. I'm gonna repeat it one more time for those of you that are a little bit late. So behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Scroll down to the very last challenge called holographic effect. Here it is, and click on get started in order to get the file. You'll have a palette folder, and you will also have our beautiful starter file, which is an Illustrator file. So let's open Illustrator. And actually, before doing that, I want to show you real quick what is holographic, because perhaps not all of you what is holographic, either because of the word in English or because you never worked with holographic before. So holographic is a color palette that pretty much breaks the light, so shows the rainbow. So you can see the red, the blue, the purple, the green, the yellow, all the color together appears and unveils to our eyes. I absolutely love it. I try to buy as many holographic things like shoes, crazy stuff. I'm a big fan of holographics, so I really thought to spark our Friday and our last challenge here with some fun, colorful work. So as you can see, I went here on stock.adobe.com in order to look at about some holographic theme and holographic photo and holographic patterns, or you can add to color at adobe.com .adobe.com in order to see some holographic palette. And in fact, the screenshot that you have there in the folder is from holographic. See if I can spell it correctly. Holographic is from color.adobe.com. Now, the best way perhaps is to go through Explore and find the right palette for you. But as I said, once you're gonna open your starter file, you'll have it here. So I already put together a sequence of color because I wanted to show you. Of course, we don't have time. And as you know, if you've been here with me before, time goes so fast. I can see Cody Bear in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. I can see Emmer, Tunk. Thank you so much for being here, Jen. I can see Pietro, Jack, and very nice. I can see the chat being lively. I was just reading some messages. It looks like you are having fun and say hello to each other. So perfect. Let's get started. So with this beautiful color, I'm gonna help you create this holographic effect. So with one single color showing the rainbow in one single element. And also we're gonna learn how to apply it to type and to perhaps calligraphy and pretty much to anything, because I have a really nice trick. Now over here you do not have this holographic line already, but I just wanted to bring it there in order to show you straight away what we're gonna do with this little color palette. So make sure to head in our palette here and that our file is our layer is unlocked. I'm gonna zoom in real quick in Illustrator to show you that we do not have the lock. In case your layer has a lock, make sure to click once to unlock the layer so you can actually start to click to our palette. I grouped it just because I was organized and I like it to make it nice and neat. But in order to create this effect, you do not need the object to be ready. So this is simple, an ellipse, a circle, and you can see that in the swatches I've created a palette as well, and those are simple ellipses with one assigned color. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna blend this color, and that's why I wanted to give you this color. I can see PM says nice color. Yes, because those are the colors that will help us to achieve the rainbow. But I used a muted palette with a more pastel tone. You can go ahead and change it as usual. I'm ready here, ready to see your work and have my mind blown by your take on the challenge. So once we have our little ellipses with color, all we have to do is to head on this lovely tool called Blend Tool from our toolbar. I'm just gonna zoom in so you can see it. Let me know in the chat if you've used the blend tool before, and especially if you used it with color. So once we click on it, all we have to do is to click on the first element, and then once we have selected the first element, you will see that a little plus appears next to our tool, and that will allow us to blend the color together. Now, if for whatever reason this is not working for you, you might want to double click and make sure that the blend option is set to smooth color, and of course keep your preview up. So you can also choose specified steps. That's absolutely up to you. Because we are using color, I prefer to have a color. Otherwise, with the steps, I'm gonna show you the window here. I always advise to use a larger number to make sure that you can cover a larger space, and I'll tell you in a second why this is vital. So I'm gonna press, I'm gonna go back into smooth color and press OK. And I'm gonna do the same with this other palette. So I'm gonna press the V to trigger our selection tool and exit our blend, and then go again in order to create a different blend. Now, the reason why this happened is because the two colors are the same, so it's a little bit confused. So if that happens, don't worry, all you have to do is to eliminate one of the circle by double clicking. Oops, here it is. And as you can see, the gradient that we create by blending the color goes back. So if by any instance we have a repetition, our amazing Illustrator let us know and recognizes straight away. See, we have another one there. Perhaps the color are a little bit too similar. Don't worry, click on V, double click, select the color that you can see is repeated twice, and hit on delete to delete it. Now you can see another part of the file that I've created here is a little bit at the beginning. I love to close the circle like we did for our very first stream. I have a little message for you. The first one was love. I was sharing some love, and this one says create. Simple and drawing, took a photo and put it on my computer. And all you have to do is to watch our introductory stream to in order to trace it. I use the pen tool and the curvature pen tool. I'm just gonna go very quickly here into our artwork layer. Click the pen tool and click once and click again and drag to make our handles appear. And as I always say, make sure to click and create anchor where there is a curve, so it's gonna be much easier. Now as you can see, it's filling it because I do have a fill here into our swatches. I'm gonna click in order to create a little path, and then press escape to break the path. I'm gonna make the stroke a little bit bigger so you can see it. Now, unfortunately, because we do not have time and I have many things to show you, I've already created a full trace of my type, and it should be here already. So I'm just gonna move this little path that I created away. But remember, with the pen tool, you'll be able to trace your image. It helps to have your image locked, so whenever you use tools, the image doesn't move around. And I'm just going to show you here our strokes should be there, and I'm gonna hide our image by clicking on this little toggle visibility here in our layer. So hopefully by now, if you follow these challenges, you learn how to work organized. It's very important to use layer. It will save you a lot of time and it will make your work much neater. As you can see, there is not a particular stroke, it's just one point. It doesn't really matter for what we need. I'm gonna select it and press Command C to copy, and I'm gonna bring it up here where we have our lovely gradient with the holographic effect. Now I'm just going to click and drag to select our holographic stripes and press Option and drag in order to make a copy, just because, as you may say a few times, I like to create copies to make sure that I leave my option open. And as you can see, you cannot see very well, so I'm just going to click and drag over my path and make sure that the stroke is white, simply because purely so you have a little bit more contrast against the gray and you can see it a little bit better. Now the thickness doesn't really matter. What it matters though is the thickness of our little blended elements, because look what's gonna happen here. Something is very important is to check that our path is ungrouped and is not a compound path, and we can do that by selecting the path and going under Object and Compound Path. And if the release title is invisible, it means that there is no compound path to release, and that's very important. And it's the same here with ungroup. It means that there is no group and no compound path, and that's all we need in order to work. If you do have compound path, or you've by mistake grouped the element, maybe because you are moving it around, this trick is not going to work. So I'm going to select a part of the path, and I'm going to Alt Shift and select one of my blended elements, and then I'm going to go in Object, and I'm going to go under Blend and I'm gonna look at this little friend here called Replace Spine. I'm gonna zoom in for you to make sure that you really understand which one that we're gonna click. Also, while you have a look at the right option, I can see my guru Tony Armour here in the chat. Tony, thank you so much for joining me. It's an absolutely honor. If you have missed it on this Friday, Tony streams every day at 12 p.m. UK time for some lovely, amazing tricks in Illustrator, InDesign, and I believe there is next one coming on Thursday with After Effects. And also, I want to say that Tony was my very first mentor and teacher, so it's absolutely an honor having you here. Go and follow Tony. He's an amazing instructor. So, I build a little bit of suspense here, but if you already click on Replace Spine, you probably already seen what happens here. So I'm gonna zoom out in order to show you that our beautiful holographic path is gone and substituted our path in the text. So that's what is called the spine, the actual line that build the text, the path that create the text, and is being substituted by our stroke. As you can see here though, we have a little bit of dots coming out, and those are the circle part of our blended items that is telling us that we do not have enough elements, so it's stretching us the element. In order to make sure that that doesn't happen, all you have to do is press Command Z to undo what you've done and head back to our little blended items, and you can just simply stretch them here. And all we're looking forward here is just a little bit of length, because the path that we have covered 3 letters, so it's a little bit longer. I can see Yolanda, Jonathan, Lucia. Lovely to see you here. I can see Andrew. Thank you so much for joining me. Lucia, thank you for having joined this very last stream. So I'm gonna go back and hold Shift and click on the first path of letter, and I'm gonna go back in Object and select our blend and replace spine. Oops, I clicked somewhere else. I think I have way too much on my Illustrator here. Let's see what happened. I have many options open. I'm gonna press OK. And that's absolutely fine. We can find the file again. Oh, amazing. This is the beauty of working live. As you can see, my Illustrator went to sleep. I've been working a lot and I didn't perhaps relaunch it, but not a problem, because it absolutely brought us back to the file. And that's probably a little memory for me to click Command Save in order to save my files. I'm gonna put on my desktop and press OK. I'm gonna go fast because time is running. So it brought it back to the step in which we had the shorter line, but as I showed you before, I'm just gonna press OK. As I showed you before, oh, I'm getting a lot of messages from Illustrator. I'll tell you what happened, that it was my fault. I'll tell you what happened in a second, but let's go back because we don't have enough time here. So in order to keep going and replace the spine and to avoid the dots, make sure to make a longer line, and then again, click on the path and click back on the other blended item, go in Object and also blend again and replace spine. Something really cool that I wanted to show you before the time runs out is the fact that as you can see now, we have here, for example, the green that is overlaying the yellow. What if we want the yellow coming up? Well, that's another amazing option that blows my mind, which is simply achievable by clicking on our path and go under Object and again blend. And as you can see, there is another option that is reverse spine. Sorry, reverse from to back. We'll look at reverse spine in a second. So by clicking on reverse from to back, it's gonna bring the yellow on top of the green and it's gonna actually reverse this 3D effect. Is absolutely amazing. Steve saying out of Illustrator saves every 2 minutes, and I save my life many times. And let's have a look at what reverse does. So I'm just gonna go back and go under Object, Blend, and Reverse Spine. And as you can see, it changed the very first color to the very last. So we're gonna have the pink at the end and the blue at the beginning. And my poor dear Illustrator is suffering because, as you can see, I had another file which had plenty of other effect. I was practicing here. I was having a little fun. So yeah, crazy Lucia. So it's holding a lot of information and unfortunately I wasn't saving. So make sure to save so you do not incur the same problem. But as you see, you can keep going and use path as long as you short as you need, depending on the length of your spine, which is the path of the letter. So for example, if we're looking to create a little effect for the smaller spine, I'm gonna go ahead and perhaps delete some of this color in order to make our path a little bit smaller, and I'm just gonna go ahead and shrink it so we can use it much nicely for a smaller piece of path. And again, object, blend, and replace spine. So remember, if you have any issue and you see some circle, all you have to do is to make a longer blend in order to cover a longer path, and of course a smaller one to cover a smaller path. Now, just to give you an idea on how to play, of course, with the holographic effect, something else that we can do is to create a gradient with this beautiful palette. So I'm just going to click on our rectangle tool and drag to create a shape, going in our gradient, and here on the beautiful freeform gradient. And once I click on it, I click on the three dots to expand it, and it's going to give me the option to edit my point. Of course, I need to create the gradient first, so I'm going to click and drag in order to create my gradient and give it a feel. Here it is, coming up, hopefully. Here it is. So I had no feel, I had to give it a feel, and then click again on our freeform gradient. I'm just gonna zoom in again, is the third option. And then all we have to do is to click on the three dots, and once we edit the color of the gradient, we can start to click on the little anchor point and then select the color from our color palette, and we can give all these beautiful shades from our holographic palette. It's almost time to go. I literally have 2 minutes. I can't believe it. I'm just gonna show you real quick what I've created here while I was having a little fun. I've added a little highlight on top of our holographic shape, and this is just to give a little bit more of a 3D feeling. I've created just some arch with our pen tool. If you want to learn more on how to create those, make sure to watch our previous challenges here that you can find on our landing page. Now, something else that I wanted to tell you before saying goodbye is, of course, to make sure to upload your work on Behance. And I'm just gonna go in my profile here. As you can see, I have created an Illustrator DCC. If you go on my I Am Cloudy profile, you'll be able to see all the amazing work that we created during these beautiful 2 weeks of Adobe Live and Adobe Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. You have them all here, and also you can find them on my Instagram. But make sure to upload it on Behance, because we have an amazing gallery here called challenge/Photoshop in this case, or if we go on all categories, we have behance.net/gallery/challenges. So I encourage you to upload your work on Behance in order to be featured in our DCC gallery. Also, make sure to join the community and share your work on Discord. I pretty much have like less than 1 minute. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. Also, for those of you who have asked about a little bit more time with me in Illustrator, is coming up. I believe it's the 18th and then 19th. We're going to have more fun in Illustrator here on Adobe Live. Make sure to stay tuned. There are so many amazing streams coming up with Aaron Pinsky, XD Masterclass, Office Hours with Andrew, then Andrea Hawk with the XD DCC, and Draw Along with Kyle Webster. Thank you so much for having joined me here in those amazing 2 weeks of Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. I had a blast with you. Thank you so much for keeping me company. And of course, remember to post your work on Discord. I'll be there to hang out with you even after the stream and even during the next week. So make sure to post your work, and I'll see you there. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.